But hello, and welcome back to another episode of Drinks with Neo, guys. Once again, I am your host. I am Neoprime12, and this is episode 5, episode 5. That's right, y'all. We made it to the 5th episode, and I'm super excited to announce, guys, tonight we are talking about streaming. How do I start? And tonight's feature is me again, guys. Tonight you have me as your feature. So Neoprime12 is your feature. You guys can watch me every single weeknight and on the weekend streaming right on Twitch. And on top of that, guys, if you enjoy this series, you enjoy this podcast, remember to hit that like on the on YouTube and hit that bell, get that notification for the next thing. As always, guys, let's get this started. Can't believe it, guys. Can't believe it. We've already made it to episode 5. That is absolutely amazing, guys. We've gone farther than I ever think we would have gone. And we already made it to episode 5, guys. Once again, my name is Neoprime12. I am your host. Welcome to Drinks with Neo. And as always, we start off with a drink. Tonight, guys, we are drinking a ginger and lime. That's right, guys. Well, what is a ginger and lime, you ask me? Well, a ginger and lime is absolutely what it sounds like. It is ginger ale with some lime juice, and some vodka. Love it, guys. So here's to me, here's to you guys. As always, if you have a drink on hand, cheers. Boy, does that I love it. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Welcome to episode 5, guys. Welcome to episode 5 with Drinks with Neo. Yes, guys, tonight we are featuring me. And guys, what is tonight's subject? Tonight's subject is streaming. How do I start? You know, I wanted to start streaming and I just don't know how to start. What do I do? How do I get there? What do I need? Do I need this? Do I got to do that? Oh my God, streaming. It's just so much I got to get before I can start. And guys, tonight, I'm here to answer all those questions about what you need, how you need to go about it, what you should do, the do's and the don'ts, and how so. But guys, so once again, a little bit of history of me. I've been streaming for almost 2 years on 2 different platforms. I was on Twitch and Facebook at the same time. Started on Twitch, went to Facebook, and still stream on Twitch at the same time. And then now I am strictly back on Twitch all by myself. And I'm loving it, guys. I'm absolutely loving it. And just remember, everybody, this podcast, this VOD is raw and uncut and unedited. What do I mean by that? We do 0 edits. We just go ahead, we post what it is, and we go out there like that. And you guys have been amazingly supporting this. If you guys haven't followed the YouTube channel, make sure you guys do so and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you hit !YouTube in chat, you can get the channel and it'll take you right there, guys. I want to say thank you so much, but let's get started. How do you start out streaming as a brand new streamer? There is so much stuff out there, chat. There is so much stuff out there. You can go on YouTube, you can ask friends, and you're gonna not hear the same answer from anybody. You're gonna hear a different answer every single time from somebody and stuff like that. So it's crazy, absolutely crazy. You're gonna hear one person say you need a $2,000 computer to start streaming. You gotta have a camera. You need a $100 keyboard. You gotta be good at video games to stream. You gotta be funny to be a streamer. You gotta do this, you gotta do that. But let's start out with the basics, guys. Let's start out with the basics. And what would you physically literally need to start streaming? And guys, it could be as easy as getting an Xbox or PlayStation, downloading the Twitch app if you wanted to start loading up playing on Twitch, and hitting the live button and start streaming. It could be that simple. So a little story you guys know about me is I started streaming on Twitch, and I didn't have a computer. I didn't have anything. I had a laptop, but that laptop wasn't going to be able to do much. So I started streaming right from my Xbox, and I started streaming Fortnite. From my Xbox, and I told myself, if I created myself a goal when I started out on that Xbox. So basically I said, hey, if I ever get supporters on Twitch, I would buy a PC and I would upgrade everything. And that's what I did. But let's talk about it, guys. How do you stream directly from an Xbox or directly from a PlayStation? And what's needed? Literally, guys, all you need is internet, your TV or monitor, an Xbox, a cell phone, or an iPad or a laptop. Literally, those 4 things, and you can start streaming. That's it, guys. That is ending the podcast. That's all we're talking about today. That's all you need to start streaming. Like, just kidding, y'all. We ain't done yet. But let's talk about it. Why would I need to have a secondary device when I'm streaming from an Xbox or a PlayStation and things like that? The reason why is because you need something and the ability to be able to read chat. Make sure the stream's looking good. Make sure it's looking crisp. The internet's not messing up. That's why. So, guys, I'm just gonna go through something real quick and I'm gonna talk about it. Let's talk about it, chat. Let's talk about it. People say, you need a 2K computer. You need 3 monitors. You need a Go XLR. You need a Shure mic. You need 3 webcams, $100 keyboard, all kinds of RGB lighting. You need a $100 mouse, and you need a ring light, all this other stuff. You need a $300, $200 controller if you play controller. You need a stream deck. Guys, I just read out my entire setup to you. I literally just read out my entire setup to you. It took me over 2 years to acquire all this stuff, building up a community, doing this and doing that to be able to acquire all this stuff needed that I've added to the experience of streaming. And one of the things you guys gotta, all that stuff you definitely don't need. You literally just need an Xbox. You literally just need an Xbox. Guys, I will respond to chat because it is just me. Typically when I have someone else on the show, I do not respond to chat. But guys, welcome in. And if you guys are watching on YouTube and you see me, well, who's he talking to? I am talking to the VOD chat. And if you guys want to see the VOD, it is always going to be up on Twitch. And we will be up on YouTube on Sunday, guys. So if you guys are watching this on Sunday or this episode during the week, just know that it was recorded. It was recorded on Saturday. So guys, every Saturday we go live. All right, so let's talk about this, guys. One of the important things you guys need to think about before you start streaming. One of the important things you guys need to think about before you start streaming is this. You need to have an it factor. You gotta have an it factor. And you'd be like, Neo, what do you mean you gotta have an it factor? You have to have an it factor. It's very simple, very, very, very simple, guys. What do I mean by an it factor? Let me explain. Dr. Disrespect. Dr. Disrespect's it factor is he has a champions club. Everybody wants to be part of the champions club. He's the 2-time champion. He is the man of fast and furious gameplay. To give you an example, Dr. Disrespect has coined phrases that people want to live by, and they go in and they expect Dr. Disrespect, and this is what they expect from Dr. Disrespect. He has his own sayings. Are they true? He's the 2-time reigning champion, back-to-back 1998 and 1999, something like along that lines. People know when that line is said that that is Dr. Disrespect, and they knew who he is. So he built up, that's his it factor. Tim the Tatman, his it factor. What is Tim the Tatman's it factor? His personality. It's not definitely his gameplay is good, but everybody, you watch Tim the Tatman because of his personality. You know, he builds into that Tim the Tatman, Tim the Fat Man. He builds into that role. He builds into that. He builds that into his personality and how he is and how he brought things up. So you guys gotta understand, all these people started from square one, and they had to figure out what their it factor was. Stone Mountain became a Facebook sensation because of his TikToks and because of while playing COD, and he became a sensation. When have you guys ever seen the videos of Stone Mountain before he got famous? And it would be like, "This is your commanding officer," blah 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 blah. He did the military call out thing during COD, during Warzone 2 years ago. 2 years ago, you guys had no idea who Stone Mountain was. No idea who he was. But because he became that it factor, and became famous for doing that. Does he do it anymore? Absolutely not. He's changed, and they've all changed. But that it factor was started out with him doing the military call outs and creating a TikTok, creating a YouTube video about that. And that it factor translated into his streaming, was translated into followers, into viewers, things like that. And it was absolutely what set him up for success. And I'm going to tell you guys what my it factor is. My it factor is caring. Is literally caring. I know it just sounds like stupid and stuff like that, but it took me a while to figure out my it factor. But my it factor is having to care, taking my community and making sure that the community is cared about other streamers. So I use my channel to support other people, and I make that well known. Why is that? Because I want people to know that this channel here, we support others, and the reason why. That's why I stream, is to be able to support others. Now, when you start, does this it factor come right away? No, not at all. Not at all. Sometimes it takes a while. It takes a while to figure out your it factor. It takes a while to figure out, hey, you know what? This works for me. This is what I'm going to be basing my streaming off of. Because when I first started, I wish I would have thought about my it factor. I really would have. I wish I would have really sat down and thought about it and been like, you know what, Neo? Your personality is funny. You're caring. Let's go with that. I was way too concerned about gameplay, things like that, and take away and got serious and took away from that. My it factor is all about caring and having fun and showing that on stream. And I'm pretty sure you guys seen it, and that's why I think people turn to come back and watch me. And that's why it's important when you start out streaming early is to figure out your it factor, because the one thing you want to do is grow, and your it factor is what allows you to grow, to have that returning viewership. And it's perfectly good example, this YouTube channel with Drinks with Neo, trying to get it to grow, trying to have that it factor, trying to have that message that comes across, that positive message that you can do this, guys. And the biggest thing, the number one thing to really talk about this, guys, is when you first start out, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Absolutely, when you first start out streaming, it will not be easy. Unless you're an overnight sensation, God bless you. But if you're not, let me tell you, chat, it's going to be a roller coaster ride. And some people can ride that roller coaster, and some people can't. And I tell you this, ride the roller coaster. Ride the ups, ride the downs. Take the success when you first start out. Take the blows. Learn from your success. Learn from your failures, because streaming every day, when you stream, when you're building a channel, when you're building a community, it's gonna take time and it's not going to be easy. And when you first start out, trust me, you're gonna mess up. You're gonna mess up names. You're gonna stop reading chat at some point. You're gonna concentrate on the game. You're gonna look over at your viewership and be like, oh no, nobody's watching me. What do I do? You know, there's gonna be those ups and downs. But ride those waves. Ride that waves of success. Ride the waves of not being successful, because what goes up must come down, and what goes down will go up. Trust me. 2 years of experience, chat. Absolutely. One of the most truest things you can do is a roller coaster is like a freaking roller. Streaming is just like a roller coaster. 100%, chat. 100%. If you guys are watching, cheers, y'all. Let's get another drink in, baby. Let's get another drink in. But let's talk about a streamer's biggest tool. What is, when you first start out, what is your biggest tool? And one thing that you need to learn, chat, the one thing you need to learn is how to speak. If you're not a fan of speaking, a silent streamer is hard to watch unless you're insanely cracked at the game. People come in to watch streams to watch A, gameplay, B, to communicate with the streamer, or C, to communicate with the community. So if you're not talking to your community, but your gameplay is cracked and the community is talking to themselves, then you made it. Then you don't have to worry about really talking to them. But in the beginning, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be like that. You have to learn how to read chat at the same time while reading chat, playing the game. And why do I say that's one of the most important skills, your best tool? Because you can have a completely dead chat, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen when you first start. You're gonna have 1 viewer, 2 viewers, at most in the very beginning, 3 viewers if you're lucky. Hey, 5 viewers if you did some networking like we talked about last week. Who knows how many viewers you're gonna have when you first start? But you could possibly have that giant donut net 0. And when having that, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna sit there and play video games and just not talk about anything? Because as a viewer coming in, excuse me, as a viewer coming into chat and no one's talking, but in the streamers being silent, I'm not gonna stay. I'm not gonna stay at all. I might say, hey, see if the streamer responds. If the streamer doesn't respond, acknowledges me, I feel like at that moment in time, I'm gonna leave. So the number one skill, number one thing that a streamer should practice before they start streaming is talking. Talking without a chat. And there's a couple ways you could do this, guys. You could just sit there and have a conversation with yourself. Have a conversation with yourself just while you're playing games, practicing, you know. Just be like, hey man, how's it going? The weather's looking good. Oh man, this gameplay is sick. I'm enjoying this game. What do I enjoy about this game? Man, they just updated the weapons. Oh man, they came out with this brand new skin, guys. Oh, this skin is amazing. Have you guys seen this new Halloween skin that just came out? Yo, you guys gotta check out this skin. Someone pops in the chat and they hear you talking about a brand new Halloween skin, and someone's gonna be like, oh no, man, I haven't seen this Halloween skin. So now, as a new streamer, I'm using my best tool, my mouth. And now I've captured that person. I've captured that person's attention. and now maybe now I got a viewer, and you never know. And that's why, as a brand new streamer just getting started, it's very important to me that you practice speaking without a chat. You practice speaking in general, so you can, once you get a chat and once it's rolling, once it's going, and you're talking to them, it's good to go. You're good to roll. And all of a sudden you have 0 people watching. You can still continue the conversation. Be confident in yourself and have fun. And that's how you're gonna grow, because you're gonna capture new people. You're gonna absolutely capture new people. So, and also when you're first starting out, it's super important. It's super, 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 super important. Let me tell you guys, that you interact with chat. So if you're streaming from your Xbox or your PlayStation and you can't read the chat on the screen while playing, you should have a device next to you, like an iPod, an iPad, a laptop. Your phone even works beautifully. Have your phone out, and then and things like that. It would be absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing, because then you can actually see chat. You can read it. And then you can communicate with people in your chat. And then, because as a small streamer, people come and watch small streamers for the interaction. Not only are they interacting with chat, they're going to be interacting with you. And when you give that interaction with them, that person feels a connection. And remember this, guys. I should have probably said this in the very beginning. Other than the it factor, what's important is building a connection. Building a connection with your community, with your people in your chat. And that's really important. And you build that connection. So acknowledging them, and people like to be acknowledged. So let's talk about one of the things we probably should have talked about in the very beginning is, you know what? I want to start out streaming, and I just don't know what platform I want to start on. And I just started with Twitch. So let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages of Twitch. When you're first starting out with Twitch, the best thing about Twitch is you don't need a PC. You can literally stream Twitch right from your Xbox. So a lot of people starting out start with Twitch, and that's the reason why. Or your PlayStation, you don't need to have a computer. You don't need another device to actually stream to Twitch. The other thing that's great about Twitch is there's no algorithm, guys. Zero algo. You get viewed based upon the number, you get put on a list, and you're grouped in that listing. Like if I have 1 viewer, I'm grouped in with the 1 viewers for that game. If I have 2, I'm grouped in with the 2. If I have 10 million, I have let's not even say 10 million. Let's say I have 1,000. I'm grouped in with 1,000. It's physically set up with the amount of viewers you have in your chat. That's Twitch in a get-go. Also, let's talk about Facebook. What do you need to stream on Facebook? 1, you have to have a PC. You can still play the video games on your PlayStation, on your Xbox. You just need to have a capture card that transfers the game into the PC, which loads it up to Facebook Gaming and has the gameplay play. So what is that? That's an extra cost. An extra cost involved to starting out on Facebook. Well, let's talk about the advantages of Facebook. Facebook has a place to where when you make a page, you can post on that page and people can see you. See that post, say, hey, I'm going live at 5 o'clock. Also, the biggest thing about Facebook is you can share your stream out. You don't have to share it on Twitter. You don't have to share it in Discord. You can actually share your stream out via Facebook, on their Facebook, so it pops up on people's feeds. The other big benefit of actual Facebook is that it's pretty easy to become a creator. So a video creator, to start earning money. So stars. Literally the requirements are are very, very easy, very easy to start. People just start sending you stars. Very easy to get. I think you have to have 100 followers and then stream a certain amount of days and have 0 infractions via like music strikes or things like that. So very easy to attain. You can do it within 2 weeks. YouTube, I don't know enough about personally, but with YouTube, I don't know enough about it. And there's a lot of other, but you do need with YouTube, you need a PC. There's some other mini sites, Truvo, Glimish. I know you need a PC for those, because you got to go through Slobs or OBS Studios, things like that, to get the video up and running. So those are basically the main 3: is your YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. There's some advantages and disadvantages. Of going with all 3, how to start each one. That's how you start it. The biggest debate that people come and talk about is, hey, when I stream, do I have to have a cam? And a lot of people are like, yes, you have to have a cam when you start out. And the answer is no. No, you don't have to have a cam. There's different things you can start out streaming. You can start streaming and don't need a cam, and then you can stream and then say, hey, I want to add a cam. Let's talk about it. Is it important to me having a camera? Yes, it's important. To other people, no. And let me tell you the reason why I believe if you start streaming, you should have a cam. I was blessed with the Xbox. The Xbox came with the actual Kinect. And so the Kinect allowed that person that was watching me on my Xbox stream, on my Twitch, to actually see me, and then they could see me, and then they could connect with me, because it's like a person, and they can see a person. People connect with people when they can see you. And so this is why I think it's important to have a camera when you first start out. It's not necessary, but it is important to have a cam. Is because you helps build that connection with you. Now, some people have a cam when they first start out and they say, hey, you know what? I'm actually cracked at the game. Let me show you my controller. So they have a cam on the controller and it shows off, and that's awesome. And that's a great idea if you don't want to show your face. Now, for all you people that are starting out streaming and you don't want to have a camera and you're like, hey, I don't want to show my face. I don't want to show off my controllers or my mouse and keyboard skills. You don't have to. There's other options out there. And then one of the biggest things with people is you can actually pick an avatar. You can have an avatar and you can put it on your screen and have that avatar. And then people love that. Literally, right before I started this podcast tonight, on the front page, this person had 25,000 people watching them play this game. Don't remember the name of the game, but they had a no camera. They had an avatar, and every time they talked, the avatar moved their mouth, so it made it feel like we had that connection because there was something there that was talking back to me. And that was cool. You can have an avatar. You can have something there that shows, something like that they can relate to you. People can relate to you that way. So I think it's important to have one, but there's other ways around it. And one of the things I like to talk about too, when you first set out, people are like, hey, yo, I want to play some music while I'm streaming. When I game, I play music, and I want to play music to give people something to be entertained by if I'm not there, things like that. Well, let's talk about it, guys. Let's talk about it. For when you first start out streaming, there's something called DCMA. So you can DCM. Basically, there's a system that'll ding you if you play music that's not copyrighted. And there's a lot of lists out there on YouTube, Spotify, all your streamings that you can look up and be non-copyrighted music. But you just got to be careful with it, guys. You got to be careful with it, because you can play non-copyrighted music when you first started out, and then all of a sudden that song is copyrighted. You get a ding, and you don't want to start out with dings. So especially on Facebook, if you guys are streaming on Facebook, I suggest until you get your stars, because one thing is they'll take your monetization away, ability to be monetized, which aka the ability to earn stars. 2, they will shut your stream down. 3, it's just a risk sometimes. And on Twitch, guys, I play music all the time now that I'm 2 years into it, but you can still catch. When I first started out, guys, I didn't know anything about copyrighted music, copyrights and things, so I played with whatever the hell I wanted. And then all of a sudden I got affiliated. All those VODs from when I was not affiliated with Twitch was all removed because they were all copyrighted, because I did not have any understanding. Zero understanding. Still got affiliated, but I had zero understanding about that stuff. So when you're playing music, my suggestion is to be very, very, very careful. You know what I mean? Be very, 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 very careful with what you play and things like that. But when you first start out, and these are just some of the things to think about, that are important to think about when you're doing it. The other thing is, when you first start out streaming, it is important that hey, my name is Neoprime12. This is the name I want on my channel. So it is important to have to figure out if your name is available. A lot of people don't think about this. And then it gets down the road and their name's taken. So the biggest thing to think about too is when you're creating a name for your channel, is that name taken? Is that name available? So, and the reason why I say that is it available on Twitch? Is it available on Facebook? Is that name available on YouTube? Is it available on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter? All that kinds of stuff, guys. All that kinds of stuff. Is it available? And it's very important to look that up when you're first starting out and trying to create a channel name. Because if it's not available and then someone goes to look up you up and they're like, hey man, I can't find you, but I found another person. Oh, that person's cool. You might have lost somebody. So it is very, very important to make sure once you get your name, that make sure your name is available across all social platforms, and it'll allow you to create more content to get your name out there and things like that. Because just streaming alone, you won't make it, but all the other stuff will allow you to make it. So that is some of the concepts of how to get started. You really don't need a lot to get started. But guys, that's really the basis of it. There's a couple things you've really got to look towards. I mean, that is a quick run through. Realistically, when you first start, you can start off your Xbox, start off your PlayStation. If you go out and buy a PC, you can start streaming off of that. Highly suggest it. Figure out your it factor. Figure out where you're gonna stream. Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Glimish, Trovo. There's a couple other sites out there. Make sure all your social medias are set up before you start. Figure out if you guys want to use a cam. Don't use a cam. Figure out practice talking, and also don't get discouraged. The number one thing is don't get discouraged, because streaming is not easy. It takes practice, it takes time, and it takes effort. And what do I mean by that? If you ain't gonna take the time to practice your stream, as in, what I mean by practice is going live and streaming, you're never going to improve. You're never gonna get better. You're never gonna grow. But when you first start out, you're gonna definitely, if you look back, if you start out on day 1 and go to day 30, when you start out on day 1 and compared to day 30, day 1 is gonna be looking real bad and day 30 is gonna be looking amazing. So practice, practice, practice. And that's really all I have to say on it, guys. Guys, I want to say thank you so much. And guys, I will see you next time. Next time, I'll see you guys. Guys, that is another episode of Drinks with Neo. And I want to say thank you so much for tuning in. I know it's a short one. When you're starting out streaming, there's not a lot to do, but there's a lot to think about. And I just want to go ahead and put that into your mind. Guys, this is, again, episode 5. If you guys enjoyed the content, make sure you hit that like, hit the bell. Come back for episode 6. Next week, we are having a PC builder for gaming and streaming. He builds PCs for gaming and streaming. He'll be on next week. His name is Redneck Engineer. He'll be on, and I'll see you guys next week, 10:30 p.m. Love you guys, and I'll catch you later.